Project Zomboid. By now, almost everybody knows about this game. Unless you're living under a rock, I guess. Some of y'all might have thought this game looked neat, bought it, played it, and immediately died, leading you to drop the game because you had no idea what to do. I get it. I'm guilty of doing the same for other games, but give it a solid chance. Once you get the hang of it, you might get addicted. Really explore what it has to offer. This game has far more depth than you might think. While it may not seem that way off rip, it has stood the test of time even after being out for years now. While I'm not going to say that the game is truly perfect, since it does have its flaws just like any game would, I firmly believe that this is the one and only game that does it better than any other zombie survival game out there right now. And I know some of you might disagree with that take. That's fine, but that is a hill I am willing to die on. Especially after having played it myself for almost a decade now. Holy shit, I'm getting old. Anyways, the B41 update really made this game stand out. The game had finally gotten the recognition that I believed it deserved. And it made sense. This update was critical to it. It entirely changed the way Zomboid looked and played for the better. But that's enough of me absolutely glazing this game. Let me show you why Project Zomboid is more complex and in-depth than other zombie games. Here are the most notable systems and mechanics. Fighting hordes with the kitchen knife you got from home? Maybe a baseball bat. What about a makeshift weapon that you crafted? Trying to pull off a John Wick on a zombie? Maybe you want to be as bad as Michan and cut them down with a katana. What about lighting them on fire with a Molotov? Or maybe you're more into guns, although careful, those make enough noise to attract all of China to your location. Why, you might ask? Because sound actually matters in this game. You have to imagine what you would do in a realistic zombie apocalypse scenario yourself. Maybe using guns and making a ton of noise ain't the smartest things to do. Not to mention, not everybody knows how to properly handle a gun. However, you can also use noise to your advantage. One cool thing you can do in this game is grab an alarm clock, set a timer on it, and leave it out on the street to gather upstairs there. Perhaps turn on the siren on the police car you found in the parking lot. Living in an apartment complex? Don't forget to turn off those noisy radios or TVs that are still on. Or, try shooting where you want the sets to go towards and leave out of there quickly. In the end, there's plenty of ways to eliminate zombies. If you're more into playing it safe and avoiding Zeds altogether, well, lucky you. You can work on those stealth skills. And to be fair, you kinda want to do that in this game, since you're not supposed to be Rambo or a hero. Just your average Joe that is now going through an apocalypse. You can level this skill up to the point where you're now able to sneak past hordes and backstab zombies. But, if you do want to be Rick, you can too, by customizing your Sandbox experience to do just that. If you really want to see how stealth works in this game, then I highly recommend trying to survive with sprinters on. That will force you to play stealthy and more carefully. I do want to shortly mention that in the upcoming B42 update, this is a system that appears to be getting expanded on, so be on the lookout for that. Managing your injuries is not just the old classic putting a bandage on it and calling it a day. Basically, you're gonna have to be the medic. Got a little scratch from tripping when running through the forest? Make sure you disinfect that wound before using a sheet of cloth or bandage. Otherwise, you'll get a nasty infection and now you have to use antibiotics. Got a nasty laceration from a broken window? Gotta remove those embedded glass shards and stitch that up with a needle and thread. Unlucky enough to get shot by your own friend or hostile NPC? Same thing applies. Make sure you don't leave dirty or bloody clothing on, affecting the injured areas, or else you risk getting that wound infected. You actually have to worry about having a clean set of clothes in this game. See those washing machines and dryers around? Yeah, those are actually handy. Wash up too. It's not just the clothes that you have to worry about. Too many dead zombies lying about, it'll get your character sick. Wear a mask, pile them up, and burn them. Or bury them if that's your choice. Don't be out in the rain or cold for too long now, unless you're properly geared for it, otherwise you might get sick, and that is not fun at all. Bottom line is, be prepared to really delve into the health system. The developers have implemented a beautiful weather system for this game, including seasons and erosion. From hot sunny days in summer, to windy and cloudy fall weather, to cold snowy winters where you want to be fully clothed and warm, to rainy and thunderstorming days of a typical spring in Kentucky. According to the Zomboid wiki, rain and thunderstorms also affect zombies. Rain conceals your noises and movements better, while thunder makes zombies unpredictable, making them move randomly due to lightning sounds. Sadly, fog doesn't seem to have much of an effect on the infected. At least not yet. Hopefully down the line the developers take that into consideration. Just like it would in real life, power and water plants will fail after a set amount of time due to not being maintained in the case of an apocalypse. Time starts ticking down as soon as you start a run. Better find yourself a generator and stock up on gas for both your car and home. Oh, and don't forget that generators can't be used indoors. Otherwise you'll have a bad surprise waiting for you. Start building rain catchers for water for the eventual water cutoff. And do whatever you can to make sure you're prepared for the inevitable fall of society's infrastructure. TVs and radios go dead silent after the first week of the outbreak. So try to enjoy the broadcasting while it's still there, because after that, most people are gone, which means no one's there to attend those broadcasting stations. I also think it's worth mentioning that there's cool dialogue scattered around in the game's radio and TV, giving you a glimpse on how the outbreak happens and how it all goes down. It's little details like these that make you appreciate how in-depth this game is. There was a time where this game had no vehicles, but thankfully, they were added a while back in their full glory. You can either find keys to a vehicle and take it for yourself, or learn how to hotwire them. With some electrical and mechanical knowledge, any vehicle can be yours. Not to mention, but there are countless mods that are available which add things like bicycles, motorbikes, boats, helis, APCs, trailers, and a nomad's dream, RVs, including functioning interiors for a multitude of vehicles and more. Go ahead, clear out hordes of sets with your newly obtained whip and suit it up to do just that by adding on some armor to it, thanks to the mods that allow you to do just that. Now you can be just like John over here trying to leave the city of the dead. Vehicles last forever with enough maintenance as long as you're willing to level up your mechanic skill and finding the resources for it. You don't want to end up like Frank and be stranded in the middle of nowhere thanks to having a flat tire now, do we?
Fuck! World's worst place to get a flat, huh?
Agreed. Think we better do this quick.
Clearly inspired by The Sims, you can see how your character is feeling, such as if they're sick as previously mentioned. Depressed? Yep, your character can be depressed in this game. Better get those antidepressants. Get absolutely wasted? Or eat a whole ice cream container. That'll cheer you up. Bored? Start reading comics? Magazines? Listen to a radio station? Or watch VHS tapes for fun? Sleepy but can't fall asleep because your character is hurt or stressed? No problem. Nothing a few sleeping pills won't fix. Careful though, don't go mixing them with alcohol now. We all know how that goes. Exhausted from running or fighting? Chill out for a second and get your composure back. Or maybe, panicking under the stress of being chased constantly by hordes of Zeds? No worries, light up a cigarette and relax. You also gotta worry about being fed. Can't run around or heal if you don't give your body the energy and nutrients it needs, and more. You name it. On the same topic of being fed, Cooking can get pretty in-depth in this game, ranging from just throwing something in the microwave, which obviously won't be the nicest meal.
It's depressing. Almost like it's been in the microwave for an hour. I'm sure that they would microwave a lamb shank.
Opening cans of food just to sustain hunger like a prepper, to being like Gordon Ramsay and cooking up a 5-star Michelin meal. Whatever you desire, you can make it. Go ahead, decorate that kitchen and live out your culinary fantasies. Don't forget about that stuff you left on though. Otherwise, you'll end up like our buddy here. Did I mention? Drink mixing is also a thing coming up in the next update. Want to roleplay being a bartender? Well, you can. Speaking of drinking, don't forget to always carry around some water and have loads back at base. The last thing you want is dying to dehydration. And don't think you can just drink straight from a pond, lake, or river. Those ain't safe to drink from, and neither is rainwater. You have to boil it in order to remove the impurities. I also hope you weren't planning on just eating junk food or the same food item for survival. That's not gonna work. Thanks to the nutrition system, you have to actually pay attention to what you're eating. So make sure you don't end up losing too much weight or gaining too much weight. Both can get you killed. Remember how I mentioned having to learn about hot wiring? Or how you need enough experience to know how to operate a gun? Yeah, every trait in the character creation menu and skill from the skill tree plays a part at some point in some way or form. Those skill magazines you find in the world will prove useful at some point. Reading books on certain skills and watching a certain TV show or VHS tapes will help your character gain experience faster in whatever category you're working on. You can even make your character represent you. Want him to be an unemployed insomniac but also good at carpentry and cooking? Sure. What about being a short-sighted asthmatic electrician that's always hungry? Yep. Or, what about being like a certain chronic smoker, military veteran?
I can't believe we made it!
Son, we just crossed the street. Let's not throw a party till we're out of the city.
That too. You'll have the skills to handle weapons right off the bat, but need to worry about finding cigarettes constantly. There's plenty of different combinations to make. It can't truly be a sandbox game without being able to manipulate the world around you, can it? Well, thankfully, in this game, you can just about destroy everything you see. Move plenty of furniture or objects, and build your own fortifications to defend against the undead. From simply barricading yourself home with furniture and planks, building walls around your base, to being able to live in the wild in a wood home you built from the ground up. This game offers plenty of ways to live out the zombie apocalypse. What if you wanted to use metal instead of wood for fortifying your base? Well, you can do that too. Get that welding equipment and tools because there's work to be done. Hopefully you got enough for praying for that though. The crafting system, while annoying to use, offers an interesting way to make things such as makeshift tools, weapons, and fortifications or furniture. It's worth exploring it a few times in a run just to see what's available to make. You might discover stuff that you never knew was even in the game. And if that's not enough for you, then there's always mods to fill in those gaps. The developers are also already overhauling the crafting system in the next update. Let's start with rain catchers. You're going to want to build plenty of these to sustain any kind of crop farm in this game. While you can't rely on your crops to fend off your home like Dave, they certainly can keep you fed in the post-apocalyptic world. Go ahead and stock up on different various plant seeds and get to farming. It's only a matter of time before you run out of perishable and non-perishable foods. Also, it's not just as simple as planting the seeds, watering them, and letting them grow. You have to worry about them dying from cold, harsh weather, pests, and blight, so making cures for that is always useful. Also, depending on the crop, they have different yields and grow times depending on the season and if you use fertilizer. Have any unwanted moldy rotten food? And don't just throw it away, it can be repurposed into compost for your crops. Pretty neat, right? Fishing, foraging, and trapping. I wasn't lying when I said you could live out your days in the wilderness during the apocalypse. The game allows you to use nature to your advantage. Need food? No problem. Grab your fishing gear and go relax by the river. Maybe you want to change things up a little in your diet. Trap animals like rabbits and small birds. What about craving something more on the green side? Look around for berries and other things like mushrooms, fruits, maybe even bugs. Can't be picky now, can we? While the current build of Zomboid doesn't have hunting, it will be added in the next update. I might have briefly mentioned it at the beginning of the video, but you can also tailor your game experience down to the core thanks to the ability to play with the game's sandbox settings. Do you want to imagine going up against 28 days later infected? Well, you can. Now you can die even faster. Or maybe, that's not so much your pace. Maybe you want to be like Frank from Dead Rising. Well, you can do that too. And the same could be said for many other zombie media that you might want to recreate in this game. There's probably more systems in the game that I might not have mentioned, but I think that's just about everything that I wanted to talk about in this video. This game truly never fails to surprise you on what you can do and discover. Also, I might have briefly mentioned the ability to mod your game, which is true. There's tons of cool mods for this game, but I'll save that for another time. This video is quite long already. Anyways, that's about it. Thank you for watching. See you.